everybody, and welcome to another episode of Reptile Dysfunction. My name's Dustin.
And I'm Ryan.
A.K.A. Fuzzy Bottom. Ooh, starting out with a song. How's it going, buddy?
Pretty good.
Good. We have an exciting episode today. Our first snake. Man, I love snakes.
I do too. Love snakes.
Like this one in particular. It's a cool snake.
I agree.
But before we get to that, Ryan, I know you're a book reader. You love books. I love books. I've read a couple, probably at least 3 books this year. You probably read half that. But I understand that you have a book that you want to show as part of Fuzzy Bottom's book review.
I don't want to review this book, but we do have Modern Urine Chemistry, a guide to the diagnosis, a guide to the diagnosis of urinary tract diseases and metabolic disorders. This is by Ames, so you can tell it's good. It's not by a person.
Ironically, it looks like someone peed on it from its age.
It's from a company, not an author.
Okay.
And I'm reviewing this book.
What's the major difference between the modern urine chemistry and the primitive, the earlier?
Well, I'm going to get to that, Dustin, because this book was printed in 1979. So it's not modern.
It's incredibly relevant.
That was one of the cons. But let's go to we're going to go with pros. I did read 2/3 of this book.
Why just 2/3?
That's also in the cons. So, pros.
Yeah.
Pros with Modern Urine Chemistry, it's short. It is a relatively short book.
Yeah.
It is also informative. You will learn something about urine chemistry reading this book. Cons, it's very boring. And I can't recommend this book for anyone.
So what I hear is a glowing review from Fuzzy Bottom himself. Ryan, when I think about you, I think about urine, you know? And so that's why, excuse me, a burp there. That's why I thought that book was perfect for you. So I think it's time that we bring up...
Next time I want to choose the books that we review.
Ryan, you love that book. It's your favorite book, and we're moving on.
We're moving on.
To
the snake.
The main event. Mike, will you bring over that snake? Ooh.
The little guy.
Little cute.
Oh my goodness.
Whoa. This is a cool snake.
It is a cool snake.
So this is called a Yellow Tailed Cribo.
Yes.
Scientific name?
Drymarchon Coreus.
Coreus. Sure.
If anybody out there actually knows how to pronounce this stuff, because it's all Greek to me, let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
Drymarchon. It comes from the Greek of drymos, which means ruler, and archon. Actually, drymos, that means forest.
Okay.
And archon, that means ruler. So these are
forest ruler.
Kings of the forest. Kings of the forest.
Kind of gives you an idea of what people think about these snakes. But these are, Drymarchon is a group of snakes that the indigos are a part of, right?
Yes, there's actually, as of 2012, the most recent I could find, there's 5 species. So when you start up at Florida, you have the eastern indigo snake, which is a very cool snake. As you go farther down, you have the Texas indigo snake.
Did you know that there is a Margarita indigo snake?
Yes, I did.
Off the coast of Venezuela.
Yes.
I heard they're fun.
You have the black-tailed Cribo.
That's right.
And then you have this guy, the Yellow Tailed Cribo.
Where are these guys found?
Well, these guys, out of all of the Drymarchons, they have the largest range. So these guys are found from, you're looking at southern to central Mexico, all the way down into like Paraguay and Argentina, northern Paraguay and Argentina in South America, and parts of Brazil, but it's going to be the northern part of the Brazil. These are not a rainforest species. No. These are a dry forest, an upland forest, and like an open ground, open grassland kind of snake.
Okay. And so they are well adapted, you could say?
Oh, yeah. These guys are, and we should say, this is a tiny one.
Right. These are the longest, this particular species is the longest species in the Drymarchon genus, right? So
they are.
They can maximize about 10 feet long, big snakes. And of course, again, the eastern indigo snake is the famous one from North America. Those guys like to live in kind of sandy areas, really closely related to the gopher tortoise, which digs really deep burrows, and they kind of live there as like a winter refuge. Also, will eat upon the baby tortoises sometimes as well. So, eating your roommates.
Well, we should talk about what to eat.
Sure.
So, as we said, the indigo snake is pretty famous for eating darn near anything.
Not picky.
And it's one thing when people think about snakes. A lot of people are afraid of snakes. And you think of people that are afraid think that snakes are always going to run around and try to go after you or try to eat you or something like that. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people don't realize snakes typically go after a very certain subset of food. So like rattlesnakes pretty much eat rodents.
Right.
Garter snakes.
Yeah, they want to grab what's available.
Well, garter snakes eat like newts and frogs.
Okay.
The Drymarchon genus, the Caribos and indigo snakes eat everything. They literally eat everything.
Frogs, birds, salamanders, lizards,
small alligators.
Small alligators. And how do they eat? They are incredibly powerful predators. And so you hear about snakes, you hear about constrictors, you hear about the snakes that envenomate. These guys are unique in the way that they hunt. They will grab on that prey, and sometimes they will just smother it to death. Or they will actually hit it against rocks to knock it out. But oftentimes the food item is actually
just eaten live. They eat it so fast.
Yeah.
Honestly, when you watch these guys eat, they'll take a mouse and have it down in like 3 seconds.
So one of the first zoos I worked at, we had a 10-foot long indigo snake. And we fed it large rats. And I fed one particular day, I fed it a large rat. And it grabbed on that rat and it smeared it against the glass. And blood was pouring down the glass. And children were so messed up by seeing this because they are so disturbingly awesome snakes. Just go for it, you know.
You lost me with that story a little bit. That's a little dark,
But those kids are now in insane asylums for what they observed that day.
We've fed rabbits on Easter. Before in the past, we have done that.
Happy Easter, everyone!
Not going to get any eggs from the Easter Bunny this year.
Basically, say that they are incredibly powerful snakes that will eat anything they can fit. And we didn't even mention what they eat. A lot of the times is other snakes.
They do. Actually, in particular with the Yellow Tailed Cribo, they typically eat frogs.
Right.
That's the number one prey item, followed by then snakes and lizards. But they do like eating other snakes, and actually it kind of goes pretty cool with this, that they eat toads, and with these particular snakes have been found to eat a genus of beaked toads, which are pretty highly poisonous. Most toads are pretty poisonous. Right. They seem to have no problems with eating poisonous toads. They have no problems with it. They also, with this particular snake, definitely eat palm vipers like the eyelash viper and various palm vipers. And while it hasn't been studied, they believe that they're probably immune to the venom. The indigo snake definitely can eat rattlesnakes, copperheads,
are all over the place.
Water moccasins.
Yeah, anything the right size, they'll eat. Mm-hmm.
But it makes these guys hard to breed because they don't go after venomous snakes. They go after, well, again, anything they can find. So if they find another indigo snake or another Cribo, they're just as likely to consume that as they would be a rattlesnake or a palm viper or a toad. Or literally, they like to eat. And you have to watch these guys with getting obese because they're
voracious.
Buffet snakes.
Buffet snakes.
Buffet snakes.
The Rosie O'Donnell of snakes. Yes, they will not pass up a meal. They're also considered very, very intelligent too. That's just from people's observations of them in the wild and in captivity. Indigo snakes are really a well-studied animal. Unlike these, there really isn't a whole lot of information on this particular snake. So, what is the reproduction like for this species?
Well, they are an egg-laying species.
Okay.
Like all of the Drymarchon, they breed in the fall, and it's kind of interesting when you're looking at indigo snakes. Actually, let me back up a second. When you're looking at snakes, usually the females are bigger.
Right.
Because they can produce more eggs.
Right.
So it's kind of the opposite of mammals. Usually the females are bigger. With their cousins, the indigo snakes, the males are larger. Because they like eating snakes, sometimes when you try to breed them, you lose your female, which is obviously more valuable. With these guys, even though they're closely related to the indigo snakes, there is no sexual dimorphism or differences in the sexes based on on size or color or anything like that. The males and females are exactly the same size.
With this species?
Yep, with that species, there is no sexual dimorphism.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
Indigos are famous. The males will get the
Yes.
massive, this round kind of thing, but these guys, it's
Nope.
exactly the same.
Males and females are same size. There's no difference snout to vent length on males or females.
Interesting.
They lay small clutches, so you're looking at like 5 to 7 eggs. The eggs are pretty big, but when you're looking at a 10-foot snake that only lays 5 to 7 eggs, that's not common. Not common. It's a small clutch.
Yeah.
The eggs incubate at relatively low temperatures, about 75 degrees, which actually the entire genus is hot sensitive. They can't handle anything above like mid-80s. They don't like warm temperatures, the actual adult animals. But the eggs will incubate. They mate in the fall, incubate for about 100, 110, 120 days. And then you'll have large snakes as far as baby snakes goes.
7 inches or so?
Up to actually about a foot. So these are like foot.
Get out of here, Ryan.
Get out of here. These are foot-long snakes that are, you're looking as big around as my pinky just right out of the gate. So they're big snakes. You have to watch if you are breeding them. Not only is it hard to breed the adults, you got to really watch when they hatch out, because guess what? The first thing they'll eat is
A Big Mac.
they'll eat the other babies.
That was close. The second answer was Big Mac. Well, Ryan, we can't keep doing this. This is crazy.
No.
Next thing we know, we'll be talking about the cloaca.
No one wants to hear about that.
No, it's just too much excitement for one day. But thank you very much for watching. This is a very special snake episode of
A Reptile Dysfunction.
Take Care.
And be safe. So, Dustin,
Yeah.
you made me read this book.
Yeah.
And I understand that you read a book.
Keep throwing it. It's not going to last. You're going to pass it on to your children? It's going to be all disheveled.
I'm not passing that book on to my children. But I understand that you read a book to review.
I sure did, Ryan.
So let's hear something about it.
Let me grab the book here. It's somewhere over here. Yes. So this book is called, it's by Bill Cosby. It's called My Big Lie. One of my favorite books of last year. Ryan, this book, it grabbed
Of last year, what year was this published?
This was, it's a couple years old.
Well,
Doesn't
look. Let me give me that. Read.
Ryan.
Keep talking.
matter. Ryan, this book,
1999.
1990, so it's relevant. It's beautiful. I love it. I learned a lot. This book grabbed me. I might even say pinned me. In my mind, it kept me interested all the way through. It was so...
Did it really talk about his big lie?
Ryan, I don't know what you're referring to. But I love this book. It has a lot of chapters. There's chapter 3 is about trust. Oh, that's one of my favorite chapters. There's also stickers inside the back for the kids. Lovely stickers. They're scratch and stiff chloroform. My favorite kind of stickers. But, I think of this book as up there with the greats. I think of the Grapes of Wrath. I think of To Kill a Mockingbird. And I think of My Big Lie by Bill Cosby. I give this 3 thumbs up. 4 thumbs up. Me and Ryan are giving thumbs up. I thought he was a great rapist. Turns out he's a great writer, too.
Thanks for watching.